Hi guys, just inviting people. Sorry, just inviting people until I get my co-host on for today. As soon as I find him. Are you there, Gary? Did I get you? Hi, Chad. Hi, Gary. Okay. Inviting you now, Gary. Hey. Is it letting you in, Gary? I'm waiting for ya. Here, let me see if I move a little bit closer. If I can get you in here. Hi, Dennis. Hi, Elder. Hi, Chad. Why isn't this going through? Are you getting the broadcast, Gary? No invite came up. That's weird. Are you on your computer or a smartphone? Because maybe that's why it's not letting it come through. It says it's trying to get you in here. Because I have an inviting thing up on the screen. It says inviting. And then it drops you. Hmm. Hi, Desmond. Not sure. Are you on your computer or are you on a phone or are you on a tablet? What are you using, Gary? Here, let me try it again. I'm going to go off computer, laptop. Okay. I need you on a smartphone or something like that. For some reason, it doesn't want to connect to computers. So we need to figure out how we can do this. Do you have a smartphone, Gary? Or a tablet? Hi, Brooks. Okay, let's try using it instead of your laptop. On it now. Okay, let me try. Sending the invite again.
All right, there we go. It's a little bit harder to use.
Woohoo! We did it! How are you doing, Gary?
Not too bad yourself?
Here, let me turn some music off here.
Yeah, I gotta shut the laptop down too because it's playing in the background.
Oh, okay.
I can double hear everything.
You can double hear everything now?
Well, I could before the laptop was on, but not anymore.
Oh, okay. So how you feeling today, Gary?
Starting to come out of it, but it's been a little bit rough since yesterday.
What happened? Just a regular attack, or was it exhaustion?
Just a bad dialysis treatment. I had too many fluids pulled off of me.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. Hi, Brooks.
When you don't have any kidneys, you can't urinate like everybody else does. And that's why I go to dialysis. So sometimes I just consume a little bit too many fluids, especially when we have these 85-degree days with 100% humidity.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit crazy. So I got your story up on the website, and we've been getting a lot of really good feedback about your story. And so tell us, when Weedakit came to you to do the show, what happened?
Well, we can start a little bit before that.
Okay.
I'm a Maine medical marijuana patient. We've got a really sophisticated program up here, and we've got a really great community. And there's always new people coming in and out of the in and out.
Uh-oh, we're frozen. Love and respect, Joe. Love you. Okay, did I lose Gary? Or did he just completely freeze on me? I lost him. Okay, let me see if I can get him back here. Here. So one of these things with these wonderful live videos is if you have computer programs that are currently running or tablets that are running, you might want to shut them down so that you can get those programs to come back, or so you can keep your live feed going. So that's what I'm doing now, is shutting all of this down so I can get Gary back. Hi, Brooks. Okay, we are shutting down. And let's see if we can pull Gary back in. Okay, come on. Good morning, David. Oh, thank you, Joe. You're awesome. Hi, Carlos. We're just waiting on getting Gary back so that way we can talk to Gary about his journey that he's been on. So what's everybody smoking on today while we're waiting for this invitation to go through? I am smoking GT Haze. We re-up again this weekend, so we're almost out, sadly, per se. But the GT Haze. I can't get him to come back. I don't know what's going on here. Are you still there, Gary? Huh. I can't tell if it's trying to come through or if something's going on. Reinvite. Okay. Okay, I just removed you. Now I'm going to put you back in. Let's see what that does. Smoking glass apple. I've never heard of that. What does it taste like? David, I'm curious. Oh, you're watching the 12 o'clock news, Joe. How's it going? Are we in any more trouble than what we were yesterday? So is that a yes or no or what? We're not in trouble. We are in trouble, you know. Respect, I'm good. Yeah. Much respect, Joe. I love watching your videos. Oh, good. We're not in trouble. So the world is starting to be nice to each other. That would be awesome. Love, peace, and happiness around the world. That's what I would like. Love, peace, to get to anywhere. As I'm dropping stuff. Peace worldwide. Absolutely. It is time for all of us to just let go of this horrible, horrible past and move on. Okay, well, I'm not sure what's going on, but I can't seem to bring Gary back in. I'm trying. I'm going to try this one more time, then I'm going to shut the system down and try contacting you again. If this one doesn't go through, Gary, I'm going to go ahead and shut the live. Oh, you're there. Yay!
My phone died, and then I just went through a whole load of crap to get back to this.
Oh, no. Well, thank you for getting back.
No problem.
Okay, so you were starting as a cannabis user.
So like I was saying before, we have a very good community up here in Maine. And there's new people joining the community every day. We make new friends. And it all started off as basically, it was just a conversation on Facebook. Pete T and his son Stephen from Green Gold were talking about how we had the best medical program in the nation because High Times ranked Maine's medical program #1 in the nation. We have an awesome
Right.
medical program. And I sadly disagreed at the time. I was denied in Oregon because I was a medical marijuana patient, and I basically told Pete that until medical marijuana patients had the right to get an organ in Maine, we didn't have the best medical program. And he agreed. And from there, it basically went to Pete contacted some legislators and some representatives, and he tried to get somebody that would sponsor a bill,
Uh-huh.
which eventually we did find. We wrote LD 764, Godfrey's Law, named after me. And Deb Sanderson, she a representative here in Maine, she sponsored the bill. So that's how that really started.
How long did it take you to get this bill going?
The conversation between me and Pete happened, I'm going to say in October of last year, and we got it passed in June of this year,
Wow, so almost a year.
almost a year.
Almost
So,
a year. So, what does this Godfrey bill actually do for everybody? Explain this to me.
for medical, if you're a medical marijuana patient in the state of Maine, you can no longer be denied a transplant or an organ based on your medical marijuana use alone. So
Okay.
basically, they can't discriminate against your marijuana use anymore.
Well, that's good because there's a lot of transplant patients as well as cancer patients, PTSD, veterans, you name it, that do use cannabis to help ease some of the side effects from these diseases or these problems. And
Right.
I lost my job at the beginning of this year because I was a cannabis user. I couldn't get out of bed and I couldn't walk to my bathroom without help from my husband or a walker because of how bad chemo and cancer kill you. They hurt you as a body. So bringing this out to light is a huge deal for me, is because people need to understand that cannabis, yes, it used to be this big faux pas, horrible drug use thing because of, the marijuana prohibition and, oh my goodness, I forgot the name of that stupid show. The cannabis
We the
show.
cat.
Huh? No, not Weed Kit.
No.
Years before that they were trying the propaganda show, Reefer Madness. Reefer
Reefer
Madness.
Madness. Yeah, the video,
Yeah,
the movie too. Yes.
yeah. So I mean, there's a
Yeah,
lot of controversy around
it's
marijuana.
definitely come a long way. It's come a long way. I mean,
It
I
has.
never thought I'd see any form of legalization in my lifetime.
So tell us, what types of things does cannabis do for you? What does it help you with on a daily basis?
Dialysis causes a lot of pain. They literally draining all the fluids and poisons and toxins out of my body.
Right.
It causes a lot of muscle cramping. It causes for me to be nauseous. It takes away my nausea. It helps me eat. I wish I could say it helps me sleep. I don't sleep, but I haven't found anything that helps me sleep. So, but it helps me function every single day. I mean, it allows me to stay some semi healthy, I should say, because I
Yeah.
am sick. But I
Right.
mean, I'm but
Yeah.
it does a lot. I mean, it allows me
Yeah.
to spend time with my 9-year-old, my 6-year-old. So, I mean, I'm
Wow,
grateful
your kids
for it.
are young. Your kids are very young. That's amazing.
Uh,
And so, one of the biggest controversies that I have really noticed is cannabis users with kids in the house. Everybody wants to come down on cannabis users because we have children in our house because they think that we're horrible drug users and we're just going to, I don't know, do whatever. Um, what do you think about that subject?
The only thing that I'll say about that subject is the doctor wants to put my 9-year-old on Adderall or Ritalin because he's a little bit hyper. you can give my kid Adderall or Ritalin, but I can't smoke in the other room while my kid's present. I think that's just bullshit, to be honest with you.
I absolutely
It's
agree.
not it's not gonna hurt them, and I don't pay attention to anybody that says anything about that because my kids have been around it. I don't smoke directly in front of my kids. My kids have walked through the room when I've smoked.
Yeah.
It's no different. I mean, my doctor wants to put my kid on Adderall, like I said, because he's a little bit hyper. I mean, they
No.
want to feed us drugs, but when we're smoking a natural herb that has never harmed anybody,
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
my kid is more than likely to overdose on Tylenol that's in my bathroom cupboard
Yep.
over getting sick off of my marijuana smoke in my bedroom.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree with you on that. Actually, both of my kids are of age now, so I encouraged both of my boys to get their medical marijuana cards simply because it can be used as a preventative as well. I've had cancer 4 times. The last thing I want is one of my kids to inherit one of these wonderful things that I've had to deal with. So I had them start, early. I'm like, as long as you're not abusing it, you have to do it right, and they learned a lot of it, so they did good. So I don't seem to have a problem with kids in cannabis as long as the education is there and available for them if they need it.
Right. I've educated my kids on it. My 9-year-old knows what cannabis is. My 9-year-old has told his teacher before that I've smoked weed, unfortunately. I mean, he's a smart kid, though. I used to, when Paul was little, Paul's my oldest one, when he was little, the growing house, I used to tell him that we grow tomatoes. Well, they play outside with all the kids in the trailer park and everything. I had a knock on the door one day, and there was 8 kids standing on my porch asking me to see my tomatoes.
Oh no.
So yeah, he knows what he knows what marijuana is now because of that day. I sat him down
That's
and
awesome.
told
I
him
like that story.
it's it's my medicine. And wow, one of my old best friends, still a friend of mine, Ed Bragg. He was my very first caregiver. He's the one who taught me how to grow organically and everything like that. I never realized what cannabis was until I smoked it organically because
Oh yeah.
now I can smell the chemicals in a bag. It's
Mm-hmm.
unreal.
It is.
So, I mean, and Ed was always open with his children about the cannabis. He had a big garden right outside, you know what I mean? And when I seen somebody else that open to their children about cannabis, I knew that it was time for me to be that open with my children about cannabis because no matter what, this is going to be my medicine.
Right.
I'm never willing to go on opiates again. I've had a bad addiction. I'm a felon because of it. I'm not willing to take that road ever again. So
I don't blame you. I absolutely don't blame you. I am on that boat as well. I have cut out all of the opiates. I use marijuana now for the pain. I use marijuana for the depression and the nausea. I do still have to take nausea medicine on top of the cannabis, um, especially if I'm smelling food. I ended up with a horrible, horrible eating disorder because of cannabis or because of chemo. So now all I have to do is smell food and I automatically start dry heaving. So I have real
right,
issues keeping food down. So
see,
it's difficult.
my problem isn't really with the smell of food. The thing for me is like when somebody's cooking food, it smells amazing. Put in front of me, and my stomach just
Doesn't want
turns.
it
I don't even know how to describe it. It doesn't want it
anymore.
anymore. So,
Yeah, it just doesn't want it anymore. So when did you first start using cannabis?
well, I've been a recreational user since I was a teenager.
Okay.
I used to smoke pot with my uncle. So, I mean, I was coming up to Maine to visit my uncle and go to the racetrack, and I was smoking pot at 11, 12 years old with him. So, I mean, I've been smoking pot for a long time. Medically, though,
Yeah,
I first
medically.
noticed that medically, I first noticed that it helped when I went into kidney failure.
Okay. Wow. And how long did you see, how long did it take you to be able to smoke the cannabis or take the oil to where you started seeing a difference on a daily basis? Was it right away? Did it take any time?
Um, Smoking, I really only noticed the help with the appetite and the nausea
Hmm.
right off the bat. But that was right off the bat. The RSO, it took a couple weeks before I mean, the first time I really noticed that the RSO was working was when I missed a dose. We unfortunately ran out of oil for a couple days. We were in the process of making it, and I ran up for a couple days. And that was really the first time that I noticed, wow, this stuff really works because I couldn't even get out of my own way.
It's amazing that you say that because that's the first time I noticed that the RSO was working too, was when I didn't have it. So it's crazy. So,
What's
um,
going on, Sonny?
oh, hey, Sonny, how are you? Hi, Craig. So, do you guys have any questions for Gary so far before we keep going on? Because I know that we're throwing a lot of information and I'm asking a lot of questions kind of quickly. So, if you guys have questions, please put them up on
Okay,
the
hi.
screen and answer them for you. Hi, cutie. How are
She
you?
said, how are you?
Good.
You tell her what you're doing. Say I'm
Good.
watching
Did you have
YouTube
school
videos on the
today?
tablet.
The tablet's dead.
No, say we don't start school till next Wednesday.
We don't start school next.
Oh,
No, they start
wow.
on the 30th. And this is my
There's
little one
somebody
over
down
here.
here that wants to say hi. He's getting all upset because he doesn't get to see you.
I saw doggy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a puppy.
Aw,
Papa.
Hey, puppy.
Papa.
Is she
We're,
there?
You guys go back to watching your videos. Okay?
we're,
I'm just getting another downstairs.
Maybe after I'm done with my video, okay? Go be a good boy. We'll see.
There's not that much Capri Suns, and Mom had one. I had one this morning, and I had another one this morning. Now I have one right now. I had one yesterday and today.
All right, go ahead, guys.
I'm just looking at the comments to see if we've got any questions. Oh, okay. So you're going to be on Weedakit in October. Or they've already
Yes.
recorded Weedakit for October.
Yes, I'm going to be on season 3. It's either going to be episode 6 or 7 when they come back from their mid-season break.
And how was it filming that? Did you have a lot of fun?
Oh, it was fun. The cast and the crew were great. Long, tiring days. 2 of the filming days were after dialysis, so
Oh my
that was
goodness.
a little bit rough, but the crew, they're just an amazing group of people.
That's amazing.
Krishna is a really, really down-to-earth, just cool dude.
That's cool. I watch Weedakit all the time. That's why I had to ask about it. So that and Bong Appetit. I like that one too.
Yeah, I like that one too. I've learned a lot about edibles watching that show.
So have I, actually, and there's a lot of things that I can do with the edibles. So when you're using your RSO oil, are you using
Yep.
it just straight or are you putting it in capsules?
I take it right out of a syringe.
Okay.
And we also have capsules that I take too. It all depends really. If I'm looking for the immediate, I take it from the syringe. If I'm looking for it to kick in about a half an hour, I'll take it in the capsule.
Okay.
But sometimes you need that immediate
Oh, yeah, you
effect
do.
because I don't really care. I don't really care for the taste of it. It's a strong taste.
Yeah, it is a very
Really
strong
cannabis.
taste. Here,
So sometimes.
I have some available to show everybody that's watching what RSO oil looks like in a more of a solid state. So, give me a moment. Unless my phone falls. So that's what a solid state RSO would look like. Basically, I just take mine and I freeze it. So that way I can I put it in a ball and then I swallow it whole so that way I don't have to taste it.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, because that taste is...
Normally, if I take it, I just put out of the syringe, I just put it right on my tongue. The taste is irrelevant when you need the relief that bad.
Yeah, that is very true. I've also done it. Do you do it under your tongue or on top of your tongue?
I usually rub it right in my lip area right here.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
If you pull down your lip and you put it right there, I use because there's veins and everything right there.
Yeah.
I've learned that from watching YouTube videos, just from being in the medical marijuana community. We have a lot of children up here that take RSO. So I followed some of their stories. Some of them you might even know. There was a little girl named May up here. She passed away last year. Sad story. I'll post a link in your group about it in 420 Island.
Okay.
She changed lives. She was the little girl that was responsible for RSO being allowed to be in schools. They can actually administer RSO in a school.
Oh, wow.
To a child, because this little girl May, she was doing better. She wanted to go to school. She wanted to learn, and they completely changed the law because they moved up here from Rhode Island. So I don't know the complete story. I've only followed bits and pieces of it. But
here
we've got a great medical program up here.
You know, I wish here in Arizona we did, but we don't. I wish that the state would protect providers in that case, especially schools for these kids. But right now, as it stands, it is a federal offense to have cannabis near a school. I think it's within 500 feet of a school.
Yeah.
So that's sad. That's something that we definitely need to change here in Arizona.
I can tell you from just from what I know that it was a battle. They had to talk over legislators. Like I said, it come to the point where basically this little girl testified herself in front of legislators, and
wow.
I mean, when you break somebody's heart like that, seeing something like that, I mean, you just want to make good and make change. So it took a lot of work from a lot of great people.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of change that still needs to happen in the cannabis industry. Education, getting to the patients that it needs to get to, I feel really needs to be put into perspective a little bit better. People aren't getting the information that they need. I went through cancer 3 times. I went through chemo and cancer and the chemo pills, the whole 9 yards, 3 times before anybody talked to me about cannabis. And it was legal for at least one of them, if not the 2. This one is also legal. But there was no education for it. There was nobody that I could talk to, and there wasn't really a medical professional that I could talk to and say, okay, I have my doctorate in criminology and sociology. It is not any good. It's bad. So I ended up, sadly, my kids taught me about cannabis and told me, Mom, you really need to look into this. You really need to try this. Well, my kids went with me to my oncologist, and my son said something. We want my mom to start taking cannabis. What do you think? And my oncologist was ecstatic, but he never told me anything about cannabis until my kids said something. So I think that there needs to be some type of a system in place to let these patients know that this type of help is available. So, and that's kind of why
I totally.
Go ahead.
I 100% agree with you there, and I would say that in November we passed recreational marijuana, and I'm hoping a lot more states can kind of follow. What we need is research. And right now, a lot of people are afraid to research marijuana because of the federal laws.
Right.
But with 8 states now recreational legalized, I'm hoping that it changes it a little bit.
Well,
With studies actually being done.
I can tell you that there are some changes coming. The federal EPA and the federal FDA have been in California, and they have been researching what they need to do to bring cannabis federally legal. So this is going on, and these changes are happening. The only thing with the medical cannabis going federally legal that scares me, and I'm kind of curious how you feel about it too, is big pharmaceutical companies getting their pockets into it.
That's the only thing about recreational marijuana that scares me.
So
We just passed, like I said, we just passed question 1 here in Maine. Credit to Legalize Maine. When it first started, we actually had to fight the Marijuana Policy Project. They had their own question. Yes on 1, Legalize Maine. That's the group I was with. We had our own question. For half the campaign, while we were collecting signatures, we were against each other. About halfway through the signature collecting, we merged. They threw away their wording and they backed our wording. And that made a lot of people mad here in Maine, because people up here in Maine, they're about the small farmer. They're about the small business. They're
right.
And that's what Legalize Maine's bill was about. I mean, we put a cap on the size grow. Like, you couldn't have a grow larger than 30,000 square feet.
Wow.
And everybody, big money's not going to want to come for an acre that's less than, for a grow that's less than an acre.
Right.
You know what I mean? They've got complexes and stuff in Massachusetts that are 1 million square feet. Big money's not going to come for 30,000. And that's how we tried to set it up. So we passed that question in November last year. So now we have, the only part of the bill that actually went into law was the home grows. Now the legislators are picking all of that apart. But yeah, that's the only thing that I'm really worried about with any type of legalization is big pharmaceuticals. All they do is ruin people's lives, and they're all about the money. I more or less would like to keep it in the small farmers, the people that are really going to care about growing marijuana. Yeah, they want to make money, but when you care about what you do,
there's a big difference.
You're going to have a lot better cannabis.
Oh yeah, there's a huge.
You're going to have a lot better cannabis.
Yeah, we have dispensaries here in Arizona that you can go to, and you show them your card. You get your cannabis, or you have a menu. You get your cannabis off that menu, and then you pay for your cannabis. We changed about a year ago and started using a private grower. And they're more out of California. They're regulated a lot more than we are. Arizona isn't really that regulated as far as cannabis goes. So the impurities, you can smell them. Our carcinogen levels with our grower are phenomenally low. So it's a good fresh bud, and it has some good moisture in it. It has a beautiful smell. So I do see the difference in the quality of cannabis. It's a big deal.
In Maine, we have dispensaries and caregivers. Caregivers, a personal grower, they can have up to 5 patients and grow 6 plants apiece for them. And then we have 8 dispensaries in the entire state. For some reason, they've never had more. That's the number they started with. That's the number they've stayed with. Besides the quality of cannabis, caregivers have way better quality. They're actually caregivers. I mean, they actually care for you.
Mm-hmm.
The dispensaries are all about money. I started off at the dispensary. I was paying 350 to 370 for an ounce of dried pesticide filled medicine.
Yeah.
To now now I'm with a caregiver and I'm paying $175 an ounce for true organic medicine.
Yeah,
No
see,
chemicals.
I do the same thing here. If you go to a dispensary, you're going to pick up an ounce for anywhere from $300 to $400. I have a caregiver, or my husband and I have a caregiver, and he charges us just about $200 for an ounce of cannabis.
I've
So,
seen the prices vary. Um, I've seen the prices anywhere from say 150 to 250 from the caregivers up here.
nice. Nice. And so do your caregivers, do they deliver or do you pick up? How do you guys work it there?
Um, it, it that's to the discretion of the patient and the caregiver. I meet mine. Sometimes he comes to me. Sometimes we meet in public. I go to him. And
Okay.
so
Okay.
it's
I was
not
just curious.
you have to meet me here at this time. You don't have to meet me here. It's I talk to him. What's a good time for you? What's a good place
Right.
for you? I mean, we're making a legal transaction by law.
Right.
He's got my
Absolutely.
card. I So we're not worried about where we exactly make. I've made the transaction in the middle of a grocery store before because that's where we both were.
You're not doing anything wrong. He's your caregiver, that's who you're with, and it is a legal transaction. So yeah, you're not doing anything wrong. So I don't see any problem with that.
Right.
So
Right.
so from what I understand, you are going back on the transplant list.
Yes. The law should be going into effect in October. I've heard already of a couple of people that are on the list that were not denied because of their marijuana use. So I'm going to look into that and see if Maine Med has already decided to change their policy. And maybe I can get back on the list before October. But as of now, I have to wait until the law goes into effect that says, hey, no more discrimination.
That's cool.
So
Well, I think that's
it,
amazing
it,
what you've
it was
done.
it feels good to do it because not only can I help my not only am I helping myself, but I'm helping a lot of other people behind me. I don't want
Absolutely.
anybody to ever go through what I had to go through. I mean, I was on the list for 10 years.
Oh,
The day that I went in there to get put on the list, I
thank
told them,
you.
hey, I'm a recreational marijuana user. I smoke marijuana for fun, and they had no problem with it. And then when I got sick, I told them I'm a marijuana user. I'm a medical patient. And then they were like, well, you can't be on the list and be a marijuana user. And I mean, they were okay with it for a long time until they changed their policy because two people died from aspergillosis. And they
Right.
couldn't even confirm that it came from marijuana.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I did read the article that you sent me from High Times, I think.
yeah, high
Yeah.
times. Yeah.
Yeah, and they did go into a better definition of what it is that you have, and I'm sorry, but I cannot pronounce it to save my life. I've tried.
It's called Alport syndrome.
Alport syndrome. So
Syndrome, yeah.
I read it, but can you tell us what it is in your own words? How it's a yeah.
It's an end stage renal disease. It's hereditary. It runs in my family. It's an X chromosome linked disease. The women carry it. They pass it on to the males.
Right.
Women generally aren't affected by it. Males are. Our kidneys fail. We have to do dialysis until we die or we get a kidney.
Right. And have they told, do you know about how long it may take I mean, because you were on the list for 10 years before they took you off of that list. So once you get back on it, are you looking at another 10 years?
I don't believe I'm looking at another 10 years. They actually put a policy in place, I believe, in 2012,
Okay.
that if you got kicked off the list, when you re-entered the list, it would go by the amount of time that you had been on a treatment. So, like, I've been on dialysis for 9 years. So my treatment time's 9 years. I should be towards the top of the list,
Oh, good. That's what I was curious about. 'Cause, I mean,
from my
I've seen
understanding.
it where they put people back at the bottom of the list and they had to start all over again.
Oh, and that's what I was told,
What? That you would have to start all over
that I
again?
would have to go to that's what I was told when they kicked me off the list, but they didn't have that policy in place at the time.
Okay.
This was a policy that they recently adopted.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. So,
Yeah, it was definitely relief to hear that too, because 10 years is a long time.
10 years is a long time. It's a very long time. See, I was denied a transplant not because of cannabis use. I was denied because of insurance. Um, the doctor, we only have one doctor in the state of Arizona that can do a complete bladder replacement surgery for me, and they're in the Mayo Clinic. And the Mayo Clinic does not take my insurance, nor will they. They've told me that. So, unless another doctor that can do the surgery comes into play or comes into this specialty, I'm stuck.
That is just that's unreal.
Yeah. And it was all over insurance. It had
And
nothing to do with cannabis.
you pay
Huh?
for an insurance, and then you pay for an insurance, and then it doesn't even cover what you pay for. It's a
Right.
scam.
Kind of, yeah. I couldn't get any other plan because I've had cancer. This is my fourth time. They say that there was no
Right,
pre-existing
and
conditions, but let me tell you, there's pre-existing money that you have to pay them if you have existing conditions.
oh,
So,
trust me, I know. I can't even get life insurance.
yeah, I can't either. So,
Doreen, hi, Doreen. Doreen McAllister. She's the head woman at my dialysis clinic, and she is a sweetheart. She's
oh,
the only reason why I haven't killed nobody there.
yeah, don't kill nobody.
She
That's
knows that
bad.
too.
Well, hi, Doreen. It's nice to meet you. Thank you for taking good care of Gary.
That's funny that she goes. I'm gonna have to harass her about it tomorrow.
So you go back in
I'll
for,
see you at 5 a.m.
oh, wow,
Oh
5
yeah, I'll
a.m.
be there.
tomorrow?
I'll be there. I'll be there at 5:20 in the morning.
Oh, goodness. No.
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Have
Yeah.
done it for 9 years.
Wow, that is, you are a true hero to me. You were able to get the law changed. You were able to get things working the way that they needed to, or at least on the right track. And I thank you.
Well, I'll be honest with you. You're not going to know any of the names that I'm going to mention, but I really couldn't have done it by myself. I mean, I've had people that have had my back. Pete and Stephen from Green Gold Incorporated out of Sanford, Maine. Um, Pete is basically the person who put all of that into motion. I had to testify. I had to tell my story, something that I've never really done before. But I wouldn't have had that opportunity if Pete wouldn't have reached out to representatives and stuff, because I tried to tell my story multiple times, and
Yeah.
nobody wanted to listen. Oh, it's marijuana, whatever. You deserve it. You couldn't just quit smoking marijuana, whatever. Then you don't deserve a kidney. And that's what I got for a long time.
Yeah.
But like I said, Pete and Stefan from Green Gold, they've had my back the whole time. My caregiver, Jenny Plum, she's been great to me. She takes care of me. Paul McCarrier, the president of Legalize Maine, he's a good friend. They've all had my back, and they've walked me through this process, because it wasn't easy for me to talk about it, You know, so having those people having my back was just an amazing thing.
That's great. That is absolutely wonderful. Well, you guys are a true inspiration, and I'm glad that Godfrey's bill passed. I'm glad you're getting back on that list.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
it's definitely a cool thing, you know, because um, you know, I started dialysis a month after my son Paul came home from the hospital. He was in the intensive care unit for 7 days. He was born early, you know, and I started dialysis shortly after that. So when you start dialysis, you go up the list a lot faster than you do when you're not on dialysis. So when I
Right.
started dialysis, you know, I was under the impression that my kidney's going to come sooner than I think. And to get that phone call and to go down there and be told that you're denied a kidney, you know, right after you had a kid, you know, it's just like, holy shit, you're basically telling me that I'm not even going to live to see my kid graduate from high school yet. You know, and that broke my heart, you know what I mean? And like I said, we
Yeah.
were talking the other night, I tried to commit suicide. I ended up in the intensive care unit. I mean, a lot of stuff that I had to overcome to get to this point, and it's just an amazing feeling to be able to go back on that list and possibly see my grandkids grow up now. Because I know that if I get a kidney, I'll at least be able to see my kids graduate. But maybe there's a possibility to see my grandkids grow up
Oh,
too.
that would be awesome. That would be amazing. That would be absolutely amazing. Yeah, so I did put the story up on freemycure.org. We have several other stories that'll be going up as the week keeps going on. Other survivors and patients have contacted me to get their stories seen. So I think it's time to get those stories out there, get them all in one spot. That's why I put yours up there. Also, when you're looking at it, I did add your link on there. If anybody is interested in helping Mr. Garry Godfrey out, the link is on that website, so you can go in there, click the link at the bottom to help him. So,
All right, and there's also I can send you the link for it in a little bit. There's also in Maine here, my caregiver Jenny Plum. She's a photographer. She's doing a non-profit, basically. It's called the Maine Cannabis. It's a bunch of female cannabis activists, and they do a lot of stuff for Maine. Well, what they're doing is they're making a calendar, and the calendar can be bought at maincannabis.com. All of the proceeds go to my family for the 2017, it's either 2018 calendar, I believe. But all of the proceeds go to my family. You can
yeah,
check
send
out
me
her
that link,
website. It's, I
and
believe,
I'll put it on the website too.
maincannabis.com.
Yeah, definitely send me that link, and I'll get it up there on the website too. I would love to.
And then in previous years, like 2019, they're going to pick a different person to donate all of the funds to for the calendar, and they're going to
Oh, how neat.
continuously do that. So I thought I'd throw that out there where you're talking about helping.
Yeah, no,
So,
yeah, if you could send me their main page too, I will get it up. I'll do a little introduction to their page on my website and send it over to them. So there'll be a click through or a backlink so we can get them up there and get them showcased. Maybe we can find some more Maine babes for the calendar.
all right, cool. I'll send you that link after we get done with this right here.
Sweet. So, what are you smoking today?
Reclaim. I'm smoking Reclaim until tomorrow.
That's fine now.
Cool.
When you run out of medicine, you do what you got to do.
Yes, you do. I've done that a few times. So,
I'll tell you though, man. Sometimes this stuff right here, the Reclaim, is better than the dabs.
oh my goodness, yes, they are. I have two containers that one has Everclear in it. Hey John, one has they both have Everclear in it, but one I clean my flower bowls in, and then the
Yep.
other one I clean my oil rigs in, and then I reclaim them that way.
Yeah. I really, I don't oftenly smoke flower anymore. Flower is basically what they're worried about, because of the
Right,
aspergillus and, 'cause it's a mold. I mean,
right.
and they're worried about me smoking the mold. But with the dabs, it's very little chance that it's even in there.
Right, because it's all
It's
processed.
processed, you know.
Yeah.
So it's purified. It's, you know.
Yeah,
So
that's my fun little dab um nectar collector.
yeah, this is mine.
Oh, okay. That's cute.
1 piece quartz. Yeah,
That's cute.
this is. I'm more of a micro doser.
You
So
know, when I got this
I mean,
one,
I take.
I thought it was a smaller one. I thought it was a one piece, so I thought it was going to be one of the minis. And I was wrong. I didn't expect it to come in three pieces.
See, I'm more of a microdoser. Rarely ever do I smoke to get high. Maybe if a friend's over or something, but throughout the day, I just take multiple hits,
Yeah,
probably 40, 50 hits a day. I don't count anymore, so
yeah. I stopped
whenever I
counting
feel
too.
I need a hit, I take one. So
Yeah, I'll normally come in and take a break if like we won't re-up again until Saturday. So I'm at the tail end of what I have left. So I'm out of concentrate. All I have is a little bit of flour left. So I'll load a flour bowl and I'll put some crumble or something, a little bit of crumble on there just to kind of help. And then I'll smoke a whole bowl and then I'll go back to writing or doing whatever it was I was doing.
right,
So, yeah, fun stuff. So you go back in for dialysis tomorrow, and so you'll continue dialysis 3 times a week until you can get the replacement, right?
until I can get a kidney or until I die.
Well, we're hoping for the kidney, not the death. No dying yet.
Oh, that's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm hoping for too. But I'm fighting till the end, no matter what.
Yeah, well, I don't blame you
So,
there. So does anybody have any questions?
but
Anybody? Okay, well, I guess not. The puppy has to come up and say
everybody's
hi.
out at the beach.
Yeah,
It's 80
probably.
degrees out. Everybody's at the beach. I'm stuck at home
Well, I
because the
think it's
wife's at
supposed
work
to
with a
be like
car.
100 and I think it's supposed to be like 106 here today.
I'm
So
good with
yeah,
that.
I don't go outside on those days.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
So
I'd be inside where the AC is.
that's where I stay. So, well, it was really good talking to you. I hope to talk to you again soon sometime. Send me those links so I can get
Yeah,
them up
we'll
on the
have to do this
website.
again.
Huh?
Will do.
Okay.
I said, yeah, we'll have to talk again sometime.
Yes, please. Keep us updated.
Will do.
Okay. Bye.
You guys have a good one. Bye.
Bye-bye.